hurts his digestion.
You know there's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you so.
It's a bad Christmas movie on the Cellcast.
Don't sweat it, forget it, enjoy the show. Working all day, now it's time to unwind. Kick back, relax, take a load off your mind. I'll be busting the moves and I'll be busting the rhymes. We'll be busting up laughing cause it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who, he's got 10 yo-yos for some reason. Welcome, Jacob.
I want to kick myself for picking this. Why didn't someone stop me before I picked this?
A, I didn't know.
Yeah,
B, our earliest. Well, no, I'll explain how I found out what this was going to be in a minute.
Yeah,
but continue.
Yeah, why? Thank you. Let me introduce our co-host, a man who could rap better than these turtles. Welcome, Drew.
Well, you know, I was going to go into a Weird Al's rap right quick, but I can't find a good transition. First in my class here at MIT, got skills of a champion D&D, MC yesterday, that's my favorite MC, keep you 40, moving on.
Yes, thank you. Example A, thank you very much.
It's all about the Pentiums, baby. See, I'm better than P. Diddy.
Oh! Jeez.
That's a parody of a P. Diddy song.
Oh my gosh. So, yes. Oh my gosh. We are in Christmas month. And as you heard in the intro, it's a
bad one.
It's a bad Christmas movie special. Unknowns to all the two of us was unaware of that.
Well, here's the thing. You put back in October, I think is when we were scheduling this.
Yes, this is October.
I had planned out, I think, to the end of Spy Family.
Yes. And
I had gone ahead and put in the stuff for Miyazaki month, and I had 4 dates listed for Christmas, because I was including Christmas week, even though I was going to be out. And before I had a chance to even put my pick in, you filled everything out.
I did.
And then I had to delete 2 of yours, because one of them was a Patreon pick.
Yes.
So I had to delete it.
Of course.
And the other was my pick.
Of course.
So yeah. And this is the one I left, thinking, okay, this is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Christmas. It's got to be something from the last 15 years. This has got to be something for kids or
Nope.
or Nickelodeon, where you could say a lot bad about 4Kids, but they tried.
Yeah.
I will give them that. They actually tried to do stuff at the beginning. But that's what I'm thinking this is going to be. It's like, okay, this is going to be some cool little Christmas with the Turtles. I go and post all this stuff to our to the Culture Box group because I always am trying to get see if anyone's interested in joining us for an episode. And the good folks at Retro Rewind, both Francisco admittedly said, "Oh, this one sounds like it would be interesting. I'll see if Paul wants to come on with us." Mm-hmm. Well, time goes by. I hadn't heard anything. I double-checked with Francisco. He hadn't talked to Paul yet. I think Francisco had even forgotten what we were talking about. And I just happened to, I think 2 weeks ago, right after Thanksgiving, I was watching one of Paul's art streams that he's been doing recently. And he mentioned having talked to Francisco about it. He says, "Is this one that you're talking about wanting to do?" And I'm looking at it going, "Let me double check."
Then he texted me.
So I texted you, and I sent you the link. And said,
like,
"Is this the one the Turtles thing we're supposed to be reviewing?"
Yeah, now,
checking for a friend.
Yeah. Now, mind you, I had not watched it yet. And my first initial thing was watching the intro. I was like, okay, this looks interesting. Have no experience with it whatsoever. So, and it's like, okay, yes, this is the one we're going to do.
So once I knew that's the one we were doing, I told Paul, yes, this is the one we're doing. Man, he's in the stream. Bobo is in the stream with him.
Oh, no.
Bobo, the one who made us watch Mad Balls?
Yes.
And that was our second pick because the first one was too brain harming for us to try and watch.
Yes.
So Bobo says, "Are y'all y'all know this is bad, right?" It's like, no, I don't know this is bad. How bad is it? And he says, and I had just, I had talked earlier in the stream that I was a proud owner of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. And he says, and Paul says, I'd rather review that. It's like, oh goodness.
Oh my.
Because I'm not looking at the Rift Tracks version of, or the MST3K version of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Oh my.
I'm looking at blank, uncut, unfiltered, completely royalty-free, out public domain Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. And you're telling me, and trust me, that movie is a trip. And that's how I found out, oh no, I may have to kill Jacob. I'm not going to, but there will be retribution if this is as bad as I think it's going to be.
All right, so
I'll talk about my first experience here in just a minute.
Fair. So here was my thought about doing this part of Christmas. So obviously, for most people who know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are celebrating their 40th anniversary.
Yeah,
and being a child of the 80s, or being a young child or a young lad of the 80s, Ninja Turtles was a big thing in my house.
Fair enough. It was not in mine.
Yeah, fair. So I grew up loving Turtles. I've always watched Turtles, no matter what it was, because I have such a nostalgia for it. Be like, even the Rise of TMNT, amazing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? Be like, I want to celebrate the 40th anniversary in some fashion or form. So this was the only slot we had. And it's like, okay, what Christmas? And I Googled it. Okay, we'll do this. And I saw the opening shot. And it's like, okay, this looks fine. It looks a little cheap. So I was like, okay, put it down.
A little cheap.
A little cheap.
A
little. We'll get there. But, oh my gosh. But yeah, let's get into the show proper.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and do our spoiler-free thoughts on this? If you can say anything about this can be spoiled.
Right.
Certified fresh and spoiler-free.
This is my first and only viewing of this thing.
This thing.
I turned this on Sunday night, I think it was. Mm-hmm. After we got done at the church, and my parents had gone home, and I was just about to text you about halfway through this that there was going to be pain, just to give you warning. Not even me threatening you with anything, just giving you fair warning. This is going to be painful.
Yes.
And I somehow realized about halfway through this was going to be dull.
Barry.
I don't really suggest watching this, even if you're a Turtles fan. It's not really that good. This really does feel like it was made to sucker. Well, the reason I went ahead and decided to go ahead and play the Bad Movie Month intro is because
I knew he would do that.
It reminds me of a lot of these mockbusters that you would see, like when Ratatouille came out in theaters.
Yeah, there'd be like
at Walmart, there'd be Ratatouille.
Yeah, Ratatouille.
Whatever that was. Or Frozen. When it came out, they released the Ice Queen with the same logo.
Yeah.
Lion King came out, and a different Leo the Lion than the one we reviewed was on the shelves on VHS.
A Reese plaster
a real Leo the Lion, not that piece of hot garbage we watched.
Yes. Oh my.
But
yes.
What this reminds me of, except it's fully licensed.
Yeah. It's licensed by Surge, and it was authorized by Laird and Eastman. And they wrote it!
Why? This is so pitiful. This is pitiful. I have problems.
Yes.
My biggest problem is I'm going to have a hard time coming up with likes.
Fair.
So why don't you go ahead and give your thoughts on this thing?
So my spoiler-free thoughts, I kind of gave a little bit away in the beginning. So again, I grew up a huge Turtles fan. Huge Turtles fan. My younger brother Jim, we did a podcast with him a couple of years back, and he claims he's the big Turtle fan because the Turtles came out the same year he was born. But nuance
as a Star Trek fan who was born 2 years before Next Generation came out, and only remembers the last 2 years of Next Generation while it was still airing, I doubt he actually remembered most of the original run.
No, because the series came out in '88, I believe. But that's nuance. So grew up watching Turtles, watched the original movies in theaters. But like, if there was a theatrical run, I was going to go watch it. Watched most of the series. Big fan of the franchise overall. And so, like I said in the beginning, being the 40th anniversary of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they were created by Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman.
As a parody of Daredevil.
As a parody of Daredevil and
Believe it or
comics
not.
of that era. Of the 1980s, of 1984. I only found it fit that we somehow squeeze a Turtles film into this year.
And that's fair. I mean, is it this year or is it like very quickly?
No, this year is the 40th.
So we had one episode after this. There's one episode that could have been
literally.
Okay,
yeah.
In all fairness, we may have to do some of the live action stuff in the next year.
Yeah, we might have to do a Turtles themed
a post anniversary.
Yes, exactly. To celebrate TMNT. Because
At
our
the
generation,
very least, we have to do the animated movie.
Yes, there's a few of them.
The one I mean, the Amagi one that
TMNT.
Yeah, the one that doesn't have Shredder in it, but they act like he's running everything, even though he's not in it there at all.
Spoiling a good film though. But so it was. I felt I needed to, as a Turtles fan, to put Turtles in the show. So I just did a Google search, like, hey, do they have a Christmas movie? Yes, they do. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. Picked it, put it on the list, and that's where we at. And boy, did I make a mistake.
It happens.
It does. So
we have a tradition, considering this is the second year in a row. We've had a bad movie in Christmas. And, I've got some stuff I can put on this list.
Yes. So
I know of things.
Yes, there's always bad things.
One of them has Mark Hamill in it.
Oh, my word. But where I'm going with this, so I also watch it on Sunday because you know what? I need to get this out of the way. Be like, again, no idea what kind of film this is. No, be like, I think it's a special. It's short. Okay, fine. That'll be easy. I'm sitting there with my jaw dropped to the floor. And I've read Drew's text. I'm like, oh, this is bad.
I'm being told this is bad.
This is bad. This is not good. It's done with an extremely low budget.
Extremely low budget.
Yeah, I'll tell you about the info and stuff. But be like, if you're a Shellhead, a Turtles, like diehard Turtles fan, you probably watched this already. It's on the bucket list, or you have the VHS in your collection.
I feel for you.
Be like, Turtles fans are going to collect everything. Be like, Shellheads are going to collect everything.
That is fair. I have seen my own taste of bad entries in my own fandoms.
Yeah. So
I own Star Trek V: The Final Frontier in 3 different formats. So
I follow a toy collector on YouTube out of Switzerland who picked up a little kid's Turtles bike. Yeah, little kid's turtle bike. This is a full-grown man. Now, granted, there's something wrong with collecting. I just be like, there is I've got to collect everything kind of mentality. But there again, that's not this show. But
does he have the little kid's first fishing rod? That's gonna have the turtle plastered all over it.
Probably. Ed's that kind of guy.
Those exist.
Yeah, they exist. They still exist now.
Yeah.
But I watched it and I'm like cringing the entire time. This is not a good movie. Well, good special. This is not a movie.
Yeah, this is a special.
This
is a special. This is a 30-minute special.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is gonna be full of rant masters.
I have it on the board. You just got to point at me.
Got it. But yeah,
I suspect our like section is not going to be very long.
Yeah, not long. But yeah. So yeah, that's my spoiler-free thoughts on what is it called again?
We wish you a Merry Turtle Christmas.
Yeah, wish you a Merry Turtle Christmas. Oy.
Oy
Let's
right.
Let's dive into the sewer and bomb this sucker.
Exactly
out of New
where
York.
this thing belongs. The sewer. Anyway.
Go back to the sewer.
The following is a spoiler-filled review for the special. We wish you a Merry Turtle Christmas.
This isn't a cowabunga, dude.
Listener discretion and viewer discretion is advised. We Wish You a Merry Turtle Christmas was directed by Larry Osborne, who also directed, the only other thing he ever directed was the other VHS tape based on this property. Straight to VHS thing that was released around the same, or in the same vein.
Oh, okay.
From the tour group of videos.
Yeah.
Turtle Tunes.
Turtle Tunes. Okay.
I'm glad we're not watching that.
I saw something about that, and I was like,
That we're going to be hearing that name quite a bit here in a minute. Just telling you. Written by Tish Rabe.
Tish Rabe.
That's what it said. Getting into the cast, we have Eric Anzalone as Raphael. And in the movie Down Periscope, he was the Village People biker. I'd been a while since I've seen that movie, so couldn't tell you who that is. Alfredo Miller played Michelangelo, and in something called the 5th Annual On Cinema Oscar Special, he played Sammy Davis Jr.
Huh. Okay.
And that is the last thing I have that is not Turtle Tunes, or they're in Turtle. They were only in Turtle Tunes, or they were on the tour, because we've got Florence Raymond as Donatello, Ron K. Smith as Leonardo, Jack William Scott as Splinter, Matt Baker as the Ninja, who was also in Nothing, Zach Grenier, who was the Rollerblader, who was also in Nothing, Ethan Lipkin, who was the Santa, and he was also in Nothing, Natasha Kriesap, Alicia Manta, Anthony Manganiello, and Yaniv Segal were the kids. And I did double check all 4 of these kids, and they were also in Nothing! Except for maybe Turtle Tunes. I don't remember if they were in Turtle Tunes or not.
Too funny.
Kingdom Hearts connections. Take a wild guess.
I will shoot.
This should be an easy one.
Fairly. I'm going to say 1, but I know it's 0.
Nope, it's a big old goose egg. And you want to know what was fun about this one?
Why?
Because everybody's credits list was so short, I didn't even have to go double check in the collaboration search.
Wow.
I had seen all of their stuff. It's like, y'all were neither in a Kingdom Hearts game or Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, so we're going to move on.
Yes.
What do we got in info and stuff?
All right, so info and
If
stuff.
anything.
Oh, there's something. Like, again, this has no Wikipedia. This has your standard Wikipedia. It's on Turtles Wikipedia.
That's where I had to find stuff.
That's where I found a lot of the stuff I got. All right, so IMDb has a 2.2 out of 10. No Rotten Tomato score, what I could see or find.
I do remember, though, that Turtle Tunes had a slightly higher score than this.
Really?
At like 3.2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Able to watch on YouTube. That's where we watched it. Not gonna be shameful or bashful. Like, no. We had to find this a certain way. No, we watched it on YouTube.
We watched it on YouTube, and this was not an official stream.
No, it wasn't.
I don't think anyone cares.
No. Production was Christopher Films, distributed by the best part of this was Family Home Entertainment, or HIF, which the same company who distributed all the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon back in the 80s on VHS, which are really cool to find every once in a while. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see. Its runtime was 25 minutes. Or did I right? 25 minutes? About 25 minutes. And I
felt
wrote
like 5 hours, but
yeah. And I wrote too long.
Yeah.
All right, so it was released on October 25th. There is no box office information because it's never released in theaters, thankfully. It had an estimated budget of $5,000. Mm-hmm. What did they spend that on? The suits?
I'd hate to think so, considering these suits were from the tour.
They were from the tour.
It's that white scarf they gave Michelangelo so you could tell him apart from Raphael.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because the coloring is so bad.
Yeah.
coloring it so
especially when
bad.
they were in the sewer.
Yeah, home release was the same year. It was released in October of that year, of 1994. And I wonder why this wasn't that good, because Turtles was on the way out by that point.
Yeah.
Or the original run of Turtles. Because I think the original series, it wrapped in 96.
This was near the end of it, and it's like right after this. I looked this up. I just don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
This is like a year or two before the next mutation started.
Yeah, that was like 90.
And that would have been when Saban got the rights.
Yeah, 98.
Yeah.
And that was the...
Which, boy, I would have preferred to watch that.
Oh, you're not kidding. That was the series that broke Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman up.
I'm just saying. It would have been more entertaining than this.
You're not kidding. Well, at least the crossover with the Power Rangers was interesting. This was...
Yeah. Getting into the summary.
Let's get into the summary.
It's Christmas Eve, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have accidentally decided to be bad sons because they didn't get Splinter a gift.
How?
The Turtles argue about who was supposed to get the gift. How about you each buy one for your stupid rat dad? Unfortunately, the stores are closing, so they don't have much time. The Turtles go above the surface, apparently undisguised, and decorate a tree in Times Square. Michelangelo strangely sings some opera, much to the others' annoyance. After Mikey stops singing, they go to a store and buy the gift. They suggest comic books, video games, and yo-yos, but end up buying a framed plastic pizza. While wrapping the gift, they sing the rap. Splinter accepts the gifts and compliments his students for their thoughtfulness, bull hockey, and giving spirit. Splinter invites his sons and a bunch of children who I'm guessing were kidnapped, who he apparently invited over for Christmas to sing his own version of the 12 Days of Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
I know there's a lot of questions I have that you just have to assume.
Oh my gosh.
Because these were the same ones from the surface, and all of a sudden they're down,
hanging out in the
with the
sewer,
turtles, and you're
the
going,
lair.
why are you down here, kids? Does Batman need to come save you? He fought the turtles once.
Yeah, he did.
After he fought Spawn. Anyway. Getting into the trivia, like you said, the budget for this was $5,000. And boy, does it show!
Yeah, what did they spend it on the suits and the one time they were in New York to shoot this? To get the permit was $5,000?
That has to be the permit.
Had to be the
one
permit.
day they were there.
The 1 day or 1 hour they had to be there. Mm-hmm. It's like,
because they didn't shut down any roads.
No, they didn't.
Of the 7 songs included in this short, excluding the theme song We're the Turtles, 5 of them are interpolations of standard holiday songs. Up from the Sewer is to the tune of Over the River and Through the Woods. Oh Little City of New York is a play on Oh Little Town of Bethlehem. And We Wish You a Turtle Christmas is a parody of We Wish You a Merry Christmas. You know what? I may have the title of this thing wrong, and I don't care. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles supporting characters April O'Neil, Shredder, Rocksteady, and Bebop are mentioned in the various songs, but never shown or depicted.
They could have released like Shredder pop up or Bebop would have been amazing, but that would have blown the budget way out of proportion.
Considering I know they had a Shredder suit for the tour.
Oh my gosh, have you seen that thing?
I have not, but at least it would have been something.
It would have been something.
Something would have happened.
You could have put April in this, the Shredder.
Yeah, you don't even need a suit for her. Just give her a yellow raincoat, and there you go.
There we go. It's off the tour. Just do that.
One of the two low-budget direct-to-video shorts featuring the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that Family Home Entertainment released in 1994. The other was Turtle Tunes.
Well, yeah, Turtle Tunes was a toy line they made. But apparently they made a special out of it?
They had a special out of it, too. And it was another series of rock songs, from what I could tell.
Oh, my word.
That were turtleified.
Yeah, no, it's like, And
continuing on with the trivia. In certain parts of the show, usually when the turtles are singing, Michelangelo can be seen wearing a long white scarf, probably so people could tell him and Raphael apart.
Probably.
There are times when zippers can be seen around the turtles' masks on screen.
Yes.
In this movie, the turtles are seen to be wearing shoes. Apparently, this is not normal.
No, it's not.
And
I didn't even notice that.
This is the very first time in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle history that the turtles rapped.
Yes.
not exactly a good first showing.
Like, yeah, they danced along to a rap song in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
but that wasn't them
Secret
rapping.
of the Ooze from
that was Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, Vanilla
that
Ice.
Doesn't count.
It was a good, but it wasn't them rapping. Yeah, they should keep their shells to themselves.
Jacob, what's your first, if any, likes for this?
Oh my word! Let me pull up the old microphone. Don't have to put that. My first like, it ended. It was too long for a special,
and nothing happened.
It felt like a 55-minute, 55-minute special that was 25 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay, it's finally over. Thank the Lord I can move on and wait till Friday to bash the crap out of this thing.
Did you go through all the credits?
Yes, I did.
So you heard even the audio at the end?
Yes.
So you were tortured by that as well. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes,
I just want to make sure.
Me, like I'm a quasi-professional reviewer.
Okay.
So you watch the entire thing.
I understand. Sometimes the credits are skipped even by the professionals.
Yes, and it was like, okay, we have to do some ADR, and let's have them like try to describe everything. And it's like, were these guys even scripted?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. All right. So, what is your first, if you have any likes? He thinks.
My only like for this thing is that it is innocent. It is clean.
Oh, okay, fair.
It knew what it was going to be, and whether or not it should be that is another matter.
Fair.
But it didn't try to be something that it was not. Now, granted, it probably should have been something different.
Agreed.
But for what it was, for a straight to VHS kids Christmas thing. That, admittedly, most kids would not have cared that it was cheesy and bad.
Oh, yeah.
Some would. But, But most people were just like, oh, turtles. Hey, come on. I would have, if as a kid, I had, being a Power Rangers fan, if I had a VHS of Alpha's Magical Christmas, also about as bad as this, I would have been happy. I'm glad I didn't have that because my parents would have killed me. And that's about how this is, except I think Alpha's Magical Christmas is better, only because there's Japanese footage in it.
Actually, something happens.
Yeah, something actually happens. If I remember correctly. Alpha kidnaps a bunch of kids, but what are you going to do?
Wow.
Apparently that's a thing.
I've heard of this.
In these cheap Christmas sketches, you got to have kids in it, and they have to be in the lairs of the heroes, and you have to wonder, how did they get there, and are they going to be allowed to leave?
So here's a big question about that. So in that special, do any of the Rangers show up, or is it just Alpha?
It has been so long.
I remember one or two of them do show up.
I want to say one or two of them, but most of the Ranger footage in that is
Super
stock
Sentai.
footage.
I gotcha.
I'm saying stock footage specifically because I think some of it was actually from Power Rangers.
Yeah,
stock footage.
Okay.
Not necessarily Super Sentai stock footage.
That makes sense.
And also, it's been a long time. I could be forgetting stuff. I just remember seeing that and going, oh my word, why does this exist? And I look at this and go, oh my word, why does this exist? So yeah, I appreciate what it is. And I appreciate that it was not intended to be anything. It was supposed to just be a nice, maybe calming was the thought process.
Maybe. A cash grab?
It was a cash grab, yeah. I mean, way back when we did Leo the Lion, I mentioned that the biggest problem I had with that movie was the fact that they did not care. I do at least feel like there was some care put into this, even if most of it was, we care that we're going to get some money off of this.
Yeah.
But it does feel like there was thought put into it.
Agreed.
There was at least some people trying. It may have been misplaced.
Agreed.
But yeah. That's my only like. Do you have any other likes?
I do, actually.
Okay.
I do.
Rattle them off.
All right. So my second like would be when Splinter is doing his 12th day of Christmas interpretation. He messes up
Yeah.
And I thought that was actually funny. I was like, oh.
That was a funny little
That was
bit.
actually a very funny
little-
moment. I was
a
like,
little
oh.
meta.
It's like, oh, okay, whatever. Okay, yeah, now I got it. Okay. But I thought it was actually fun. I was like, oh, he messed up. And it was actually digital. Okay, that's funny. I don't care who you are. That was funny. All right, so my third and final like.
I will say before you say that third one, it really feels more like that was not the intention.
Oh, probably not.
Because it really feels like if you're watching the footage, obviously that was recorded before the audio was.
Uh-huh.
And so the actual guy in the rat suit, which may be the same guy who actually does the voice.
Who knows?
You can kind of see him doing the thing, the through the parts where he's messed up. You can kind of see he's still trying to do that, as bad as that costume allowed him to do that.
Yeah.
And because the bounces aren't matching what he's saying,
nothing.
and it really feels like he was in the booth trying to sing the song. He gets through. Was it just the first one that screws him up? The first line, the 12.
He gets to. I think he gets towards the end of it.
Well, the end is
he
where
has
he
to
comes
come back and he messes up like most people do.
He comes back in at like the 5 yo-yos, or not 5 yo-yos, the 5, whatever number 5 was.
Yeah.
But I think he got off like at 12 or 11. Mm-hmm. And it's like, because 12 was like 12 autographs of April O'Neil. I do remember that.
Yeah, that's right. It was.
And he doesn't quite say that fast enough.
Yeah.
And then he can't get up to, and finally he
trips
just
up.
Because he says, if he comes back in at whatever 5 is, and goes, and I'm back, 4, da-da-da.
Yeah,
like,
that was actually funny.
That is funny, but
That was the funny part of this entire
That was
film.
definitely like, we didn't intend it, but it's better than what we wrote.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a funny haha moment. And so my third and final like of this film. So we are back in the lair, in air quotes. So we have all these kids who show up for no reason, but apparently, like Drew said, these are
This is a tradition,
little specials
apparently.
to bring kids into.
Because kids will not enjoy something unless they see other kids in it.
Exactly. And to my point, be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you brought my point into the light, where you have this one young lady who's wearing purple. He's wearing a purple hoodie throughout the entire
The only
thing.
one who looks like she's enjoying herself?
No, be like for the most part, it looks like she is bored out of her mind. Most of the time, like except in the very end of it, where she's doing motions and the whole bit. The entire time, it looks like she is bored, doesn't know what's going on. It's like,
hey, most of the kids don't look
I got
like
offered pizza and hang out with turtles. What's going on?
Most of the kids didn't look like they knew what was going on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they just brought some kids.
But
into
at least this one girl down when they're in the sewer lair is giving it her all through both songs.
I agree.
I'm going, girl, I know you think this is going to get you spotted by some talent scout. However,
but
no
it's
talent scout's going to be watching this.
Yeah, so I mean, like you can tell, like a lot of these kids be like, they were like looking everywhere trying to find some direction, and this one girl be like throughout the most of it, like when Splinter's doing his thing, he's just kind of just hanging out, just like, I don't know what to do here, and it's like that kind of felt like me in the moment.
Yeah,
but she kind of becomes animated at the end of it. It's okay, she's finally gotten into the swing of it. But it was like, I thought, okay, that was interesting because like you notice characters in the background when you're bored to death with a movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this young lady in purple got my attention because she was bored out of her skull. Which, like, most people who have to watch this as an adult were bored out of their freaking skulls.
Why don't we just get to that in our dislike section?
Let's get the master ripping.
Rantmaster activated.
This audio clip owned by Nate Marchand of the Monster Island Film Vault. For more information, please go to monsterislandfilmvault.com.
Okay, let's get this out of the way. What is this thing? This is a stupid excuse to sing a bunch of turtle-related Christmas parodies.
Yes.
With a paper-thin plot line. And these aren't even good parodies.
No, they're not.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is one Christmas song out there that if it were up to me, I would have stricken. I do mean stricken from the minds and memories of every person in the universe who has ever heard this song, because it is dumb, it is long, it is annoying, and I don't know one person who likes the 12 days of Christmas. The good versions of the 12 days of Christmas I've heard, you know what they all have in common? They start at 8. They skip a big part of the middle because you know what's boring? On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. On the third day of Christmas, and then you have to repeat. It's annoying. And like I said, all the good versions, and that is in air quotes, are short because they cut out half of it. This one does all 12 verses. Sure, in the last one, we get that one little joke where Splinter is apparently trips up at the beginning and tries to catch up and doesn't until the very end. But all 12 verses of the 12 days of Christmas. Mm-hmm. And I was on my phone most of this time. I didn't even catch what the numbers were. That's why I don't remember what number 5 is, because by number 2, I was already going through, okay, what's going on Facebook right now? What's going on Twitter X? What's going on Discord? I wonder if anyone's posted anything about upcoming video games, because you know what I don't give a flying banana about? The 12, how many gifts the Turtles gave to Splinter, because... Well, I have another issue with the gifts that they did give because of some of the catch, and I'll go ahead and mention it because it's kind of connected, and I've got other dislikes to put in the other spots. Do these turtles know what their father, admittedly adopted father, likes? Because they got them all. They got him presents for themselves.
Yeah, pretty much.
None of that looked like something a master of the martial arts would want. Now, I'm not wanting them to go full Master Roshi and give him presents. Those the kind of presents that would like. But come on. Play rat. That's all I'm saying. But I'm just saying, there's nothing. I look at that and go, you know what? I don't know specifically.
Yes.
What Master Roshi, what Master Splinter would want for Christmas. What the kind of things he enjoys. Because I did not grow up with turtles. All I know about Master Splinter is that he's a rat who adopted 4
baby turtles.
That they all got ooze on him. Mm-hmm. He somehow got martial arts, and I know that's changed depending on what time period we're looking at.
Depends on what
how he got his training. I know that changes, but that's literally all I know about it. I know nothing about Master Splinter, the character.
Ah, okay.
So I don't know what he would want, but you know what I'm fairly certain he does not want? Well, he might want the 12 autographed pictures of April O'Neil, if we're being honest. But I don't think he wants anything else in that list.
Very inconsiderate of them.
And they waited until the last minute to shop for their dad. What kind of horrible sons are you, especially when only one of them is buying the presents?
Apparently.
If you can walk around New York like you did this, you had no excuse not to go down to Macy's back at Thanksgiving. You could have marched in the parade and then gone right into the store.
Yeah, no one would have cared.
And no one would have cared. You know why I know that? I'm fairly certain the Turtles have actually walked in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
They have.
I bet a giant balloon of Michelangelo has flown through past the Macy's building. I don't remember what road that is.
Yeah.
Macy's Street, for all I know.
Who knows?
But yeah.
Oh my word. So in that same vein of the 12 horrible days of Turtle Christmas, we have where they're having to cut in between, and they keep reusing shots the entire time. I'm like, do something. It drove me nuts. Be like, yeah,
that's the other problem.
About 8 times, dude. This number with the skateboard.
That's the thing. That's all you can do with that. Even the best made music video for the 12 Days of Christmas, all they know how to do is every time they sing one of those, hold the thing up again. And most of the time, just replay the clip. You know, the one I like, the one I like is the Jeff Foxworthy Redneck 12 Days of Christmas. Mm-hmm. A, it's shorter, and B, the music video, they actually filmed new jokes for every single time they went through it. Granted, they only went through it maybe 3 times total, but...
Right.
And they went through all 12 3 times total, not... Yes. First dislike for you, sir. You already did your first dislike?
No. Play it.
Rentmaster activated.
This audio clip owned by Nate Marchand of the Monster Island Film Vault. For more information, please go to monsterislandfilmvault.com.
This is a horrible piece of trash.
It belongs in the sewer.
Yeah, it belongs in the sewer. Not a museum, the sewer.
Maybe the sewer museum?
Not even that.
Okay.
Be like, yes, it belongs in the Turtle Museum because it's part of Turtle history, even though it is a complete, utter waste of time and it's a cash grab. It is horrible. There's no story to it whatsoever. Again, it's four brothers who forget their wise and wonderful master, father figure, present. And then they spend
3 hours.
3 hours, what it feels like.
In universe time.
In universe time.
In universe time, it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
It was only us for us 30 minutes, but that means that some of those songs they sang for an hour in universe.
Yes. So be like, oh my gosh, this is so stupid. Be like, I get it. You're trying to make a buck. You're trying to make some kind of cool little special. Just put effort into it. Come on. I mean, I understand you got a small budget, but come on, put some effort behind it. It was just the worst.
Granted, when I think Turtles, I think there's got to be a fight in it somewhere. Just like with Power Rangers, just like with Dragon Ball. There should be a fight in it somewhere. And I'm not saying you got to have a fight against Shredder or Bebop and Rocksteady.
The Foot Clan.
The Foot Clan.
Come on.
They don't even have to be good costumes. Have them jump around in pajamas and you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. So, again,
we're not expecting Oscar-worthy performances here.
Exactly. So, for me, being the Turtles fan, going into this is like, okay, this is going to be cool. I was highly disappointed because there's no fighting. There's no funny jokes. Be like, there's barely any pizza jokes whatsoever. There's terrible rapping. Terrible. Oh my gosh. I guarantee some Turtle fans like, oh, it's not that bad because it's Turtles. This is a piece of crap, people. Literally, piece of turtle crap.
It is not worth the magnetic tape it was recorded onto.
Yeah. Now, mind you, I guarantee there are probably a ton of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collectors who probably have this in their collection. They probably watch it every Christmas, even though, like, this is so silly, and then turn it off.
Wait till you hear what I'm about to compare this to.
Okay, so yes, it is absolutely horrible. That's my first dislike. What's your second dislike?
Jacob, we're both fans of many different fandoms.
Yes.
There is a fandom that I know we're both in, and we have actually watched first-run movies of this franchise.
Okay.
In a theater together.
Ah.
That has specifically a holiday special that has not been seen legally since the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
The Star Wars holiday special.
Oh, my God.
Ironically, a Thanksgiving special, not a Christmas one.
You're going to make this comparison.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've watched that. And I'm going to tell you something. That had more creative thought and more creative energy and was by far more entertaining to watch than We Wish You a Merry Turtle Christmas.
Yes.
And do you want to know why? Because something happens!
Rentmaster activated.
This audio clip owned by Nate Marchand of the Monster Island Film Vault. For more information, please go to monsterislandfilmvault.com.
Sure, the jokes are stupid.
They're beyond stupid.
The most of the skits go on far too long.
They do.
There are things that make you wonder, what were these people smoking? Have a good animated short we should watch on this show at one point that comes from that. The Tale of the Faithful Wookiee.
Oh, yeah.
The first appearance of, as you call him, Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Yes.
Yes, but that's not how you pronounced it earlier.
Yes, I have learned my mistake and learned my ways.
Yeah, because I beat it into you.
Yes, you irritate the crap out of me. It's like, no, it's Boba Fett.
Yeah, it is Boba Fett. But anyway,
you live and learn, right?
Yeah, I watched. That thing is by far has more. Like I said, it's more thoughtful. It's more interesting, and yeah, it's goofier. I'll give you that. There's some goofy. Mark Hamill in that thing at one point has so much makeup on his face. He looks like he ought to be in a production of ABBA. That's that bad.
Oh wow, that is bad.
There's at least once you add it all together, there is 15 to 20 minutes worth of Wookiee dialogue that is untranslated.
Wow.
There is many questionable thought processes and stuff that goes in there. We have an entire segment in the cantina. The one where they meet Han Solo in episode 4. That cantina. Have an entire segment that where the barkeep is played by B. Arthur.
Arthur?
B. Arthur.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And they are closing down the cantina, and she's singing this very sad last call song that the melody line is a slow, sad version of the cantina song.
Wow.
Da 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 da. It's a slow version of that. It's thoughtful. It's provoking. And I mention all this because it's better than a Merry Turtle Christmas. Because it's interesting. It's like this is 4 brothers who couldn't be asked to go do their shopping ahead of time, to go buy crap for their father that the father doesn't want, and that's all this is. And it's like I said, it's an excuse to play a bunch of Christmas songs that they made up. They're not even good Christmas parodies. I'll get more to that in a minute, but they're not good parodies. The fact that I honestly will say that the Star Wars Holiday Special is better than We Wish You a Merry Turtle Christmas.
That is a good comparison.
Should tell you.
Yeah, a lot.
That is my second dislike, the fact that actually can outrank this. Wow. Because this is a piece of hot, steaming garbage. Which does make it better than Leo the Lion. What is your second dislike?
Oh, this is going to be fun, your ranking. This is going to be fun.
I have to say that because my famous line about Leo the Lion was, I couldn't call it hot steaming garbage because that would be an insult to hot steaming garbage. This was hot steaming garbage, and that's fine.
Yeah. Fair.
Which does technically make it better than Leo the Lion.
My second dislike. Don't worry about it. It's nonsensical. It is a nonsensical. Oh my gosh. Again, being the Turtles fan, you think it's like, okay, we're going to use continuity. Hey, we're going to do this. Be like you live in the shadows. You're not seen. Nothing like that. Nothing. It's like, oh, we're just on the sewers. Be like, no disguises, no trench coats. They couldn't bother to put trench coats or hats on these characters, and they're walking around with
you
kids.
Wouldn't be able to recognize them if they did.
Yeah, that's true. Be like to the point where they run into a bunch of kids. It's a kid special. I get it, but at the same time, you're supposed to stay in the shadow. Like no one's supposed to see you, but then you're just hanging out, having fun with kids. I get it. It's a kid special, but. Dang it, be like Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman confirmed this. Surge created it. And they wrote it, for crying out loud. What the frick? You guys didn't have enough money at the time?
Hang on. Did they actually write this? Or are they just credited as the owners of the Turtles?
That is a possibility. But they wrote off on it.
They made money off of it.
I agree. They probably made money off of it.
But I have this suspicion
that it came, that they had it. They did.
I have a feeling they filmed it and they said, "By the way, we have this thing. Can we release it?" Sure, why not? We're drunk.
Hey, we got plenty of money, but like we're doing great. Why not? We still got to put merchandise out there. Put this out there. It'll make a buck.
Yes.
But oh my gosh,
as bad as the late stage Turtles commercials.
Put effort into your creation. Be like at least be entertaining. Be like have some kind of drive behind it. It's like, oh, because they forgot a present. We all forget to forget some presents.
The fact
be like, hey, sorry, we forgot your presents in the mail. But this is like the stupidest thing. It's just like Drew said earlier, it's literally presents that they would like because they're stupid, immature turtles. And be like, for a guy who grew up watching turtles, be like, Splinter, he likes sushi. Be like, that's what he likes, and the turtles don't like sushi. They think it's disgusting.
I agree with the turtles.
But it's more like it's the thought of be like there's no sense of continuity. This is in the Turtles universe. But like granted, it's part of the Turtles tour. And I have never seen I've seen clips of it, and I heard it's stupid and funny at the exact same time. This is just stupid. I grant it be like this is what they did in the 80s or in the 90s at least. They released these things where it was just the characters. Drew mentioned one where Ninja Turtles did. The
Power Rangers did one.
Power Rangers did one. Pardon me. But this is nonsensical stupidity. This is my second dislike. What is your third dislike?
The Christmas song parodies. Here's the thing. All the Christmas songs that are in here are they're public domain. Mm-hmm. You know, no one's going to sue them over this stuff,
right.
Which is fair. But they are a
little more creative about them.
They literally don't change many words to make this work.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got, instead of "Oh Little Town of Bethlehem," you have "Oh Little City of New York," and I don't remember the rest of it because I couldn't make out half of what he was saying anyway.
Exactly.
But it's lazy. It's lazy songwriting.
It is.
They're not interesting. It has almost nothing to do with anything. I don't know why Mikey turns into an opera singer in that one song.
It's so ridiculous.
And they go, "Oh, look, Mr. Opera's here." It's like, what?
It's like, this makes no sense.
I don't know what's going on. And then this is 90% of what's actually happening is these bad Christmas parodies. Yeah, there's a couple original songs in there. They're not any better, but they are there. So, I mean, yes, there's technically a little bit more thing in there. But, why can you not put more work into creating your bad Christmas parody songs? What's your third dislike?
Oh my gosh. So we bring the pad up real fast. My third and final, like, granted, we could go all day with how bad this thing is. This is absolutely horrendous. Mm-hmm. It's bafflingly stupid. Again, it's insulting as a Turtles fan. It's insulting as a movie critic. It is insulting as like anything else you could verbally describe something as. It is bafflingly stupid. There, I said it. It's stupid.
That goes without saying.
Yeah, that's what I would say. It's bafflingly stupid. Sorry, I have a cold.
It's that time of year.
Yes, most wonderful time of the year. We have to review this piece of garbage. Yay me.
It happens.
It does. We all make mistakes and don't get depends from, afterwards. Anyways, so yes, it is bafflingly stupid. And that's all I'm going to say about it. It's bafflingly stupid. Don't go watch this. It's a piece of crap. It'd be like I could go on about how bad the set looks because it didn't even look like a set. Looks like oh, they just threw some things in a pipe somewhere. Mm-hmm. I can say their journey to the I want to say the upper world, but the roadway up to where they can go buy shopping. It looks like they were in a sewage factory and just walking around in there. Yeah. That's what it looked like. It was very, 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 very cheap. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is dull, boring, and stupid. Don't bother watching it. Now, if you are a Turtles fan, you probably watched it. If you're anybody else, don't watch this. This is a waste of time. Unless you are a fan of just like, oh my gosh, I love the silliness. I love the stupidity of it at all because it is just stupid. And I love it for that. If you're that person, that guy or girl, by all means, have fun with it. If you are in the chat, you listen to this at some point, let us know if you actually like this or not. Mm-hmm. We, however, did not like it. I can.
What are you rating this film?
I want to hear yours first because this is
1.5.
Whoa! What?
1.5.
1.5. Wow. 1.5. Mm-hmm. So it's better than Leo the Lion.
It doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
I'm about to determine, though, to a degree, if that Leo the Lion will be the worst rated thing I've ever watched.
Oh, okay.
To a degree.
I get you. To be fair, there were parts of Leo the Lion I actually enjoyed in some parts. I know you hated that film. Absolutely hated it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is coming really close to probably the worst thing I've seen because I was insulted by it the entire time.
That was my problem with Leo the Lion, is that it insulted me.
Yeah, it's very much an insult. Oh, heck. I'll give it a 1.0. 1.0.
Okay. So you're rating it worse than I am.
Yeah, I'm rating it worse.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you. Oh, my gosh.
Deela hates it, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cold. Fun stuff. Like, you think you've gotten over something, and then you start coughing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should have, brought some Tums.
Bobo says, sounds like Drew didn't really give this a chance. He should give this another watch.
No. Yeah, Bobo, why don't you go watch it? Give us your solid review on that.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah,
Give us a rebuttal. I dare you.
Yeah, give us a rebuttal, like how good this is. Let us know. Record yourself doing it and send it to us, and we can watch it. And then we can...
I dare.
Double dog dare you.
I triple dog dare you.
Yeah. Give us a good review, Bobo, of this little short, this little special. And let us know what you think.
Little short of horrors. Little short of horrors.
But seriously, Bobo, it'd be like if you seriously want to do a good review of this, by all means, do it and send it to us, and we will happily listen to it.
Yeah,
and it might even tack it up, maybe even throw it into an episode.
Who knows? This is Drew from the future. Bobo responded.
Hello, Drew. Hello, Jacob. It is I, Bobo, the harbinger of podcasting chaos. And you triple dared me last week to do a review of We Wish You a Merry Turtlemas. So here I am. Earlier today, I watched this thing while giving plasma, because I figured getting poked with a really sharp needle would help to deaden the pain of watching this thing. I think it worked, actually. So, 3 likes, 3 dislikes, and a final rating. Let's get started. Like number 1. I like that you guys had to review this. You did it of your own free will. Nobody had to use a patron pick. That tickles me. Anyway, like number 2. This is an actual one. During Mike's opera song, when Raph kind of makes a snowball and throws it at Mike, I thought something about his body language was kind of saying, if you stop singing and just shut up, we can be done with this scene and we can all leave. That kind of amused me in the moment. I actually got a little chuckle out of me. So, that's like number 2. Like number 3, I actually like that the songs, as bad and uninspired as they are relatively quick. I think the longest one is probably the 12 Days of Christmas, which came in at about 3.5 minutes. The ending one of We Wish You a Merry Turtlemas kind of prattles on too. But generally they're in and out. As lame as they are, they keep things moving. And I do appreciate that in the garbage that I watch. On to the dislikes. Dislike number 1. I just cannot get into this thing because these costumes are awful. These are the bad turtle outfits. These are the ones with the horrifying looking teeth and lips Lips? Do turtles have lips? What passes for turtle lips are not really always in conjunction with when they're talking or singing. The neck gaps where you can tell that the head is separate from the neck and the rest of the costume, that looked awful. Everything about the costumes was just bad. Right on down to the voices. This doesn't sound anything like the Ninja Turtles have ever sounded like. Singing, speaking, anything. Wrong, wrong, wrong. It's all bad. Completely keeps me out of the whole thing. Number 2, the editor was Aileen Buller. And I think Aileen could have done a much better job editing this, and I know exactly how. If Aileen had just cut the entire special altogether, would have been much, much better for all parties involved. Yes, you would have had some kids disappointed when they get a Turtles Christmas tape for Christmas, and then they pop it in and it's just a blank videotape. But look, all three of us know that those kids would have had a much better, much more entertaining time watching that blank tape than watching this piece of crap. Number 3 on my list of dislikes is the very ending. I know Jacob said your first like was that this thing ended, but I dislike that this thing could have ended quicker, and it didn't. We got through the credits, and yet it kept going. We kept hearing the turtles talking with just a black screen visually. And I couldn't help but think of Tom Servo from Mystery Science Theater 3000 when they were watching Wide World of Batwoman, and he just starts yelling, "And! And!" I'm sure you can identify. So, those are my likes, those are my dislikes. What do I rate this thing? Well, I gotta tell you, for as long as I've known about this special, and I've known how bad this thing was, I was expecting to give this like a 1 or a 1.5. I'm actually going to give it a 2. It's still bad. There's no question about that. This is still pretty awful and pretty terrible, and let's be blunt, it's pretty offensive to anybody with the gifts of vision and hearing, but I've seen a lot worse, and again, this is relatively inoffensive as far as bad productions go, so I can't go too harshly on it. There's some real trash out there. Probably like Leo the Lion, given the 2 minutes of that I've ever seen, that deserve the really, really awful ranking. So I'm going to give this a 2, and with that, gentlemen, I shall bid you adieu. Happy critiquing.
You got anything else to add before we go to intermission?
No, I'm very happy to get away from this so we can do an actual classic.
Next week, we are doing a Patreon pick from a good friend of ours who did not pay us through Patreon, but paid us money under the table. Is that technically a bribe? I don't think that's a bribe.
No, it's not a bribe.
I'm giving her the stuff, so.
Yes.
Anyway, our good friend Wendy Imprimo, who loves Christmas,
a little bit,
is getting us to watch actually a movie I'm looking forward to watching, which is the original Miracle on 34th Street.
From 30... When was
No,
this?
I think it's 50s?
I think it's 50s.
It's 50s.
Yeah, it's 50s.
It's the good one.
Yeah, the good
I mean,
one.
they're both...
they're both good.
There are technically 3 versions. I don't know the original. But
I remember something about that.
But the second one is the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, the second one.
The second black and white one. The one they always show on TV.
Yeah.
So join us next week for that. It will be a plus episode. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, we got some Batman on the other side of these bumpers. Flap, 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 flap.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
This week, we suggest checking out the Retro Rewind podcast.
Yay!
Every other week, you can join the Retro Rewind pod as they travel back 15 or more years along the entertainment space-time continuum in their mission to review movies and games, establishing what is still worth your time today. You can expect fun banter and trivial insights from Francisco, PaulJPowers.com, and a rotating cadre of guest hosts who are all out of time. The Cellcast would also like to thank our non-Patreon patron, that being Wendy and Primo, and also these Patreon patrons: Ashley and Francisco Ruiz, PaulJPowers.com, The Monster Island Film Vault, and what is his name? Edwin Gonzalez. I'm sorry, my brain farted.
Might need some editing.
You can smell it from across the internet. I swear.
Yeah, it's better. Than
If you would like to have your name shouted out and hopefully done quickly,
he actually might remember your name. People.
Maybe I'll remember it. I'm sorry, Edwin. I really am. If you'd like to have your name shouted out on the show, special art from Jacob, uncut episodes, plus for an extra $5 for a total of $10. Because that was $5. This is the $10 tier. You can force us to watch something that is against our will.
This is against my will, against my will, against my will, against my will, against my will. This is totally against my will.
I need to cut that down.
Within reason.
It is, yeah, within reason. Also, we have shirts on our Redbubble store. Go buy them.
We don't have a Christmas shirt this year, but
maybe next time.
Next time.
It's a lot more work to make those up than you think it is.
Yes.
So join us for the yeah.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. 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 There is a song the good folks sing.
Song the good folks sing.
In the great hall of the Justice League.
So recently, as I was going through like a bunch of the old audio bumpers we have, I found the special one I did for those Batman movies.
Oh yeah,
that I did the non-instrumental versions where I was doing like all the instruments. I may have to replay one of those for this intro just to change things up after a while. Yeah. But with the right things, obviously.
Yes.
Anyway. Our next episode of Batman the Animated Series is P.O.V, which was produced, it was the 7th episode produced, but the 13th episode broadcast. It first aired on September 18th, 1992. It was directed by Kevin Altieri and written by Mitch Bryan, Sean Catherine Derrick, and Lauren Bryant. In this episode, a criminal bust organized by Detective Bullock goes wrong. Later, at the interrogation room, conflicting perspectives are offered by the 3 cops involved, Bullock, Montoya, and Wilkes. After being suspended from service, it is up to Montoya to find the truth and clear her name. What she doesn't know is that she's going to have to team up with Batman to do it. Cast for this episode, we've got Robbie Benson as Officer Wilkes. This is, of course, new cast. John Considine as Hackle. Marcelo Tubert as Scarface, but not the puppet Scarface. He'll come later. And none other than Ron Perlman as Driller.
I thought I recognized Rolf Palmer somewhere. I thought I did.
Trivia for this one. Sean Catherine Derrick and Lauren Bryant created the original story for the episode as well as writing the original script based on their story. However, standards and practices didn't approve the script. Kevin Altieri recalled the script was much more complex when he received it. We cut out a lot of flashbacks to Montoya's youth when she was called a liar and flashbacks to Bullock's youth when he was playing high school football when his dad yells at him because he was using teamwork. Don't be a team player, be a star. Being a team player is for losers. Go out for number 1, pal. That's apparently what his father would say. That explains a lot right there.
Yeah, it says Bullock.
Many of the scenes were taken out, probably for time.
Probably.
Most of the information of these scenes can be seen in Animato magazine issues number 26 and 27. This is the first episode of the series where Batman does not appear out of costume. The structure of the episode is reminiscent of the movie Rashomon from 1950, in which the audience is presented with 4 different and conflicting eyewitness accounts to a murder. The difference here is that the flashbacks show that Bullock is obviously lying, while in the film, each witness's story is presented as true, and the contradictions only come out when they are compared. Originally, Montoya, Bullock, and Wilkes told their accounts of what happened in a coffee shop instead of police headquarters, and their careers weren't on the line. The episode proper also would be delved into, would have delved into Bullock and Montoya's backstories. I already said some of that. With the abusive father who drilled respect and explained his dislike of Batman, while Montoya would have revealed to have been grown up in Crime Alley and is a reformed teenage punk who cleaned up her act and dedicated her life to helping people. Their backstories were axed by the censors and were one of the main reasons why writer, story editor Sean Catherine Derrick left the show in frustration.
I wonder why.
Kevin Conroy does not have a line until the last 6.5 minutes of the episode, and in fact, he only speaks a total of 6 sentences. The cuts demanded by standards and practices necessitated the addition of an action fight scene at the end as Montoya tracks the criminals to a warehouse by the docks. The changes were also made to Montoya's version of the story in the original script. In the episode, the action fight scenes run more than 7.5 minutes. The changes that were made to Montoya's version of the story run close to 1 minute, so about 9 minutes of the original script were removed. And that's all I've got for the trivia for this episode. This is kind of I don't know if this was the first time they did one of this in a cartoon series.
I wouldn't know.
But I do know that I've seen plenty of versions of this kind of story in later cartoons where they show different points of view of the same story.
Yeah.
But they're all slightly different. This is the first time, though, where I think I've watched it and we actually do get to see what actually happened while we hear the narration be entirely different than what's going on screen.
Definitely,
which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I especially liked how the rookie is describing all of what Batman's doing as if he's some Superman of sorts. As if he's got superpowers, which I thought was funny.
I can see that where he'd be like he doesn't have a whole lot of interaction with Batman at the current, so he thinks he's this superpower superhero.
He believes in the superstitions of everything he hears. He probably can't even see very well of what's going on from his perspective. So he's just telling what he thinks must be what happened.
Agreed.
And then of course Bullock is lying through the whole thing because he's Bullock.
Yeah.
He's got to blame everything on Batman.
Yeah, he's got to save his bacon in some capacity. So I enjoyed this perspective because they do give the 3 perspectives. You can get the 4th through Batman, but the waning thought that was crossed my mind the entire time. It's like, what is Bullock not telling? Because he shows up, we see what happens actually over what Batman we get Batman's perspective from everything when the characters are doing their line overs. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, wait a minute, was Bullock in on this? And he was there, and then he realized he made a mistake, so he had to fobble something, and like the place caught on fire or something like that. Because I'd be like, my honest opinion was,
well, I mean, it is his fault the place caught on fire.
No. Let me explain further. My initial thought was, okay, Bullock was in on the take.
Yeah.
Be like, he knew what was happening and he was going to get a cut from it. And something went awry.
You were thinking he was a corrupt detective.
Yeah.
Is what you were thinking.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
Like, he's a corrupt detective. Like in most of the adaptations, he's a corrupt detective.
Which makes sense.
Anyways, so that was my thought the entire time. Like, what is Bullock really not telling us? Be like, where is he getting the cut out of this? Or be like, what happened? Be like, obviously Batman, dashed the criminals scheme under, and what Bullock ultimately did, he caused the fire and everything because he wants to save his own bacon. He believes Batman, like he does with everything. Be like Montoya, be like, she tells the truth. The rookie, he tells the truth, and of course Bullock's trying to be like, no, Billy, this is what really happened. Be like, oh, okay, so you're gonna believe them over me. be like trying to deflect everything. It's like, dude, you are guiltier than sin about something.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm almost convinced that he had some cut in there, but it got, derailed because of Batman.
And
Batman had to save his bacon.
I see what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I think I disagree that he does, because the animation does not show that.
Oh, of course not.
The animation that we're seeing is what happened, and it does show that he is trying to actually stop the criminals from the theft. So, yeah, he doesn't say... He kind of... I can see why if we were just getting an audio version of it, you can make that idea. But the animation is showing the actual events that occurred,
agree.
While the narration is their point of view.
Yes, completely agree. The fact to be like Bullock did go in early.
Mm-hmm. He probably had a good reason for going in early.
He had a good, because he wanted to get the glory.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like, he wanted
that's Bullock.
That's Bullock. He wanted the glory. But, and obviously he winds up fobbling it and winds up, causing more of a mess than anything. And he ultimately blames Batman for it. But again, be like watching this episode, because you get the mysterious Scarface character, because you get this
only in this episode.
Only in this episode.
Here's the thing: the Scarface is not the boss. The boss is just called the boss.
Oh, okay,
it's the only time he's ever shown up here.
Yeah,
literally when I saw him, I was like, "Oh, they're introducing Clock King."
That's what this early, Clock King.
He looks like Clock King.
He does.
He's not,
but he looks
like Clock King.
Mm-hmm. That's a good episode.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah,
but he is officially, from everything I researched, that guy is just the boss. This is the only episode he's in.
Oh, okay.
Scarface is he's the thug that's got the scar on his face.
Very true. But
I think he's the one who keeps getting knocked in the water throughout most of the episode.
He does.
Through the end of the episode.
The comedy relief is the guys falling in the water, or Bullock, getting his royal rumpus getting handed to him. And trying to blame Batman for everything, for his folly. But it's a good episode. It's a different episode because they give you all these different POVs of what was happening. You get Batman's perspective. And like you said, he only has 7 lines of dialogue? 6 lines of dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's a good episode. Far better than the movie we just reviewed. Let's just say that.
Yeah. What I like about it, and this is an important thing, I think, is even if Batman is not always present, his presence is always felt.
Yes.
Because that's why Batman is as effective as he is the fact that he's always, if we're there, we know he's going to show up. It's just a matter of timing of when. Well, that's even true in the next episodes. Why don't we jump into it?
Yes.
The Forgotten. Production episode number 8, broadcast episode number 23.
Yes.
First aired on October 8th, 1992. It was directed by Boyd Kirkland and written by Jules Dennis, Richard Muller, and Sean Catherine Derrick. In this episode, Batman goes undercover to unravel the mystery of Gotham's homeless men who are vanishing without a trace. Instead, he winds up stricken with amnesia after a blow to the head. Suffering forced labor in a remote mine under the depredations of the corpulent Boss Biggest, he slowly recovers his memory and stages an escape. Resuming the mantle of the Bat, he descends on the mine like an avenging angel determined to free the homeless captives and put an end to Biggest's vile enterprise once and for all. Getting into the cast for this one, I am getting to mention Kevin Conroy again. Because along with Bruce Wayne and Batman, he actually voices somebody else in this. Somebody you wouldn't think about.
I did recognize his voice from another character.
Was it the Joker?
No.
He actually voices the Joker for the one scene he's in this.
Really?
Yeah. That is actually Kevin Conroy doing a Mark Hamill impression.
Wow, that's impressive. I didn't think about that. Wow.
Lauren Dreyfus plays Salvo Smith. Dorian Harewood plays Dan Riley, who looks suspiciously like Lex Luthor.
Agreed.
George Murdoch plays Boss Biggest. Ian Patrick Williams plays Ivan. And Jade Thomas plays Guard 1. Trivia for this one. Bruce Timm said, I didn't want to do this show from the very beginning. Sean Catherine Derrick was big on doing shows with social messages. And my problem with message shows is that you can't solve the world's problems in a half-hour cartoon. If you raise the issue of homelessness, What can you do? It makes the episode look very exploitive because you are using the problem as an exotic background. You can't discuss the problem on any meaningful level in a 22-minute action cartoon. So I put in the dream sequence with Bruce in the barracks where the multitudes of people are looking to Bruce for a handout and he doesn't have enough money for them all, and they're surrounding him and suffocating him. It's not enough for him to put a Band-Aid on the problem at the end by offering the two guys a job. It just doesn't work. Director Boyd Kirkland felt that broadcast standards and practices undercut the script's essential message. There was a sequence at the beginning where Batman is wandering around the city trying to find out why people were disappearing. It was staged with homeless people hanging around on sidewalks, families, mothers, and kids. They made us take all that out of the boards. They said it was too much for the kids to see that maybe a woman or family can be out on the streets. They specifically asked that we only show men as homeless. The idea for this episode was conceived when Bruce Timm and the writers considered what Bruce would do if he lost his memory and was forced to find a solution without gadgets or his costume. This is the first episode where Batman is shown to be captured on screen, albeit out of costume. The previous episode, P.O.V, shows him captured, but is strongly implied that it was part of his plan all along. For the character of Boss Biggest, Bruce Timm mentioned how difficult it is to do one-time villains and make them memorable, so it was decided that Biggest should be fat and revolting, with the actor George Murdoch, who plays him, eating food during his lines for authentic slurping and gulping sounds for the character.
Agreed.
I actually like this episode. It's not great, mind you, but I thought it actually... Granted, I don't really like the social aspect of it either, because I don't think it does a good job of... Like Bruce Timm says, it doesn't really do a good job of showing how you fix a problem like this, or what the actual problem is. It's just... You got homeless people. It's not much different than the kids in the sewers during the Underdwellers.
Yeah, agreed.
In terms of what's there. You do have his friends there in the work camp. And admittedly, I thought that was fairly dark for a kid's show to show something like that. And then I remembered that we had something similar in X-Men the Animated Series around this same time.
Agreed.
That this came out, now that I think about it.
It was a little bit later.
Because this is how we learned that Storm was claustrophobic.
Yes.
Because she got locked in the box, too.
Yes, she did. Oh, you're talking about that. Okay.
Yeah, Slave Island.
Yeah, Slave Island. Oh, yeah.
So...
That was roughly around the same time.
It's roughly around the same time. But, yeah, this is an interesting little episode. It is nice to see Bruce actually having to use a persona other than the Batman persona to do the detective work. And I like them showing him going through all that, even though one has to wonder why this homeless man is driving such an expensive car in the slums of town, even though he would eventually park it and walk around without it. But, people see things. But yeah, I loved how Alfred trying to doing his best trying to find.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. That was great.
Trying to find him and flying the bat plane out to the middle of nowhere, and he said, "But Bruce is down there. We've got to land." Batcomputer says, "We can't land. There's not enough straight land. Land, dang you!" Or that's not what he says, but basically, And the Batcomputer that says, "Well, it's your business, not mine."
Oh dear!
Oh, I love you, Richard Mall.
Yes. Oh my!
But yeah,
yes.
it's a good little episode. I
agree.
I do wonder though, the elevator that they show them taking the mine carts up and down. When they're coming in and out of the mine. They don't appear to be on any track, and it does not appear that that's a mistake either.
Yeah.
So how are they getting them on and off that elevator?
Good question.
I don't know. It's weird, I know, to ask that, because it looks like it's more of an animation error, but the way they showed it is like, nope, that wasn't an animation error. That was an intentional thought. It's like, but then how did they move it? Because it's just one man. I know Bruce Wayne is strong, but he's not that strong.
Yeah.
Anyway. What are your thoughts?
So my thoughts on this episode be like, it does kind of, I can see the intention of what they're doing. And I do agree with Bruce Timm about this because there's not enough time to kind of tell that kind of social commentary about homelessness and caring about homelessness or caring about those who are in homeless. Because I did years ago, a lifetime ago almost, where I did a mission trip to San Francisco, and we were in the Tenderloin, which is the poorest part of San Francisco. So from the perspective, if you're walking in the Tenderloin, you go to the next block, it is like skyscrapers and high-end shops and everything like that. No one cares. No one cares what's going on in the Tenderloin. Like in this same vein, like it's be like, yeah, Bruce does find, it's like, okay, these people are missing, I have to find them. And he seems to be the only person who wants to, try to find these men. And I do agree, but like if they had enough time and, not restrictions, they could have done a very good commentary on homelessness. And again, be like Bruce's dreams kind of fit perfectly. You can't fix the problem. Be like, you can throw as much money as you want and charity at it. You can't fix something that someone's stuck in. Be like, you have the like one of the characters who Bruce interacts with is like, he was doing a 9-to-5 job and he got yanked, and he's afraid he's never going to see his family again. Like just a regular Joe just get yanked off the street.
Who will later be angry at Superman.
Yes, it would be.
I'm sorry.
He looks like...
He does look... It's like, y'all just... I know y'all hadn't started on Superman at this point.
Yeah,
but y'all just used this... Someone saw this character sheet from this episode and thought, that's Lex Luthor!
You just put him in a suit.
Just put him in a suit. He'll be fine.
Yeah, that's Lex. But,
give him a little bit lighter skin so he's white. Because he was Mexican in this.
Yeah, something like that.
Very strong, muscular Mexican.
Yes. But, like, it was
I think he was Mexican.
I don't know.
It's hard to tell.
But, like, he could have been black. I don't know.
Could have been. I don't know. If he was black, he was very light-skinned black.
Yeah. But
either way.
Either or. This, like, it's a good episode. I really wish they could have, like, restrictions be darned, done something really like powerful and gave a good message to the kids, which is like some of these shows do really, really well with what they were like, oh my gosh, we can't do this.
Well, we haven't quite got to the episodes yet.
No, we haven't.
That do some of the really good ones, like Heart of Ice is very good.
Yes, agreed.
There's a 2-part episode I know eventually dealing with Clayface. That is really
good. That is so good.
That we haven't got to. The Two-Face episode that's going to be coming up fairly quick. They do a lot of good stuff, and those are 2-part episodes. But you have to go to that much trouble to tell a good story sometimes.
Yeah.
And we just got a bunch of little single onesies and twosies here. And you can kind of tell it feels like they're just getting their feet wet still.
Yeah, they're still building out the universe.
That's like the weakest part of this is that they're still getting their feet wet. They're still making sure they've got a good idea going. And then later on, they'll do, but which is even stranger when you're looking at the production order, because we're going in production order.
Yeah.
And you look at what broadcast episodes were in between these, and you go, but these are good episodes. Why are you still getting your feet wet with these bad ones when you got these other ones? Of course, it's because they crammed like this first 3 seasons into 1 year. So, anyway.
So, yeah, it's a good episode. I really wish they could have like really hammered home like the story they were trying to tell, but obviously, like they were restricted, they couldn't do that. But they're going to be like someone who has worked with the homeless, and these people who live in darkness. Be like, isn't the guy who just gets ripped off the street and the guy who has a job or he's working on a job. These people don't have jobs. If we're talking about homeless. Let's play a story like that. But yeah, it's a great episode. But I have no qualms about it. I love the fact that the baddie gets he gets thrown in the boo box. If you catch that reference, good on you.
Not the boo box.
The boo box. Yeah, if you get that reference, kudos to you. You get a point for that. But yeah, love it. Love this episode. It's a really good episode. It's Bruce kind of trying to find his way back to who he is. He's lost his memory because he got bunked in the head.
Mm-hmm.
And as Batman, he's been clearly knocked out and remembered exactly who he was, but the plot demand he forgot his memory. Yeah, but like he had retro amnesia.
Yeah.
Or retro, not retrograde, but retro amnesia, where he just like temporarily forgot who he was. But it's a good episode, and they do kind of point the fact to be like homeless is something you can't just try to throw money at, and his dreams of Bruce having nightmares about things is very good about pointing that out. It's like, yeah, you can't fix it by throwing money at it or trying to do this or do this. It's you got to go deeper.
Did you mean retrograde amnesia?
Retrograde, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, retrograde.
Sorry, I was like, I know he's not using the right word, but I don't know what he's going for.
Yeah, I had to look it up. I was a word off. Off. Retrograde amnesia. But yeah, it's a good episode. I thought it was really good. And I remembered when I got the box set from my friend and I watched that episode, it was like, man, that's a good episode. And it was like, oh yeah, we get to revisit that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good episodes. And there's just more episodes that are just
we'll get to some good ones
spectacular coming up. So
I mean, good ones. I mean, some good ones because this is a good episode. Don't get me wrong. It's just I think it might be one of the weaker ones we've done.
Yeah, so far.
Anyway,
again, this is from Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah,
season 1.
So next week, I don't have this up. Next week, along with Miracle on 34th Street from 1947, we have Be a Clown, which is another Joker episode, and It's Never Too Late. So join us for that. And I know this is going to be the first one we do where I had to play around with some episodes because this is where Two-Face came in and it was not lining up exactly, so I had to move some stuff around. But join us next week for that. And in the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
You can follow Jacob on his Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. His Facebook page, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where he tries to draw each and every day. His Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. His Twitter at Jacob Heron.
And his Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. You can find Drew on Facebook at Drew Dodgen.
His Facebook page, Drew's Photo Bin, to see his photography. His Letterboxd page at GGeorge759. His Twitter at GGeorge759. And Instagram at Drew Dodgen. You can like us on Facebook at the Cellcast Podcast. On Twitch at the Cellcast Gaming.
On YouTube at Cellcast.
On Twitter at cast_cell. The Cellcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts are downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us, and also on Podchaser. Email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. The Cellcast is a proud member of both the Pop Americana and Culture Box media networks. For more information, please see the link in the description. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. And remember, that's Cell with a single L.
You know, as much as I didn't like the cheap Ninja Turtles parody Christmas songs, it did inspire me to make one of my own. Hark the Ninja Turtles fight, the Foot Clan with all their might. Shredder's kidnapped April O'Neil. The turtles are gonna make him squeal. They are trained and they are ready to fight Bebop and Rocksteady. They will foil the Shredder's plans and then run 'em over in the turtle van. Hark the Ninja Turtles fight. Pizza to all and to all a good night.
Good job.
I think that's better than most of what we got.
Okay, you're not kidding. Oh my gosh.